Hi, hi, hi. It's your girl Ashley, aka The Widow, and welcome, welcome, welcome. How's everybody doing? So Moon Knight premiered today. Well, I watched it at 4:30 this morning again. I got a chance to see it. It stars Oscar Isaac as Stephen Grant, aka also Moon Knight, and Mark Spector and Ethan Hawke as Arthur Harrow. It like I said, we're on episode 2 now. And I'm going to give you my thoughts on the episode. In the first episode, I told you it was okay. I wasn't really so hyped like a lot of people were about the first episode. But let's get into this and we'll let you know what I thought about the first episode here. So in the beginning of this episode, we see Mark. He kind of like wakes up and he wakes up in a very frantic state, and he's just realized, oh, again, this has happened. But this time, Mark talked to him in the mirror, and he's kind of like, is this really going on? So that's like kind of where we begin with it. For me, I kind of want to talk about, each specific character, things that I liked. Oscar Isaacs, I thought when I see him as Stephen Grant, a lot of the times, you know, and I wonder if the accent is a put on for, because he is an American guy putting on this British accent. And it's very just like too much at times. It's just really cheesy and like stereotypical and like over exaggerated. And I wonder if that's, intentional, but it can be very annoying for me. Um, I really, really did enjoy him having that conversation with himself at the storage locker, the back and forth. I think Oscar Isaacs, when he's acting against himself in those moments with Steven and Mark, I think those are really the strongest moments in the overall show. And I like the contrast between Mark. Mark is this hardcore mercenary, fighter, violent by any means necessary kind of guy. And Stevens is a little bit more, passive, compared to Mark. And it seems like, Steven also, we found out later that Steven has a lot of the same interests as Leia, who is, married to Mark. So I felt that was very interesting. He kind of like, to me, represents that softer side of Mark, that guilt, his connection to Leia. His wife really is represented in Stephen with just the things that he's interested in and the things that he enjoys. I really like those moments. And then when we get to like Mr. Knight, I thought Mr. Knight looked really cool. I like the suit. I like the look. I like, that first interaction when he sees himself and Mark is like, what's happening right now? Why, what kind of suit is this? But once we get into that fight with that jackal, right? I found it to be very silly. Like I didn't like it. I didn't like the fight at all. It was too silly, and it wasn't in like a good kind of like I chuckled kind of way. It just was ridiculous all around me. I didn't care for it. Um, Mark, I kind of liked when Mark also was explaining, how he gave his life to Khonshu, excuse me, because he saved his life. So it was like a debt that he was repaying. Also, all the hints for like Layla being, the next Avatar, I thought was silly. Um, Anything with Leia. Let's just go ahead and talk about Leia. Like anything with Leia, I wasn't big on that. I didn't enjoy it. For me, it wasn't something that I was a big fan of. I thought that like the delivery of the lines were silly. I didn't buy a lot of it. I think that just overall, she was kind of weak as an actress. And no offense, I really didn't enjoy her at all. And I also think that when in the scenes that she was in, she really brought those scenes down. And like in the climax, when Arthur's like, "Where's the scarab?" And like he's really, 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 you know, asking Steven, where is this scarab? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? And then she comes in, arm raised, I have it. It is so cheesy. And as much as I do like Ethan Hawke, like I didn't like his reaction in the line. I can't remember what he says back to her, but the whole thing was ridiculous. And then like apparently like Layla is this, renowned fighter apparently, because she is just like kicking all these big guys, butts and throughout the whole thing. And to me it just makes absolutely no sense. Like why are you just able to like fight these guys without any problems? It just, I don't feel like, maybe we don't know enough about her character, but I feel like that's not established. She doesn't have any super strength. She's very little in stature, little. So how is she with, pretty much ease being able to fight these bigger guys? I thought that was really silly. And just, like the whole interaction going back when they're having this interaction with the divorce papers, silly. But this, outside of that last silly moment, another moment that was really silly with her is when she just miraculously arrived to save Steven at the storage unit, which I like the storage unit. I like the feel of him like scared and the flickering of the lights and him and the way the hallways seemed to expand and become more narrow along the way. I really liked all of that. But then we get outside and there's Layla who conveniently shows up. Yes, she says that she's tracking him, but like it didn't, I wasn't convinced. It just seemed like really lazy delivery from her in a lot of the scenes. And I think that she brings it down, like I've already said, she brings it down so much in those scenes that she's in. Khonshu. So in episode 1, his voice really, really, really did bother me. In this episode, it really, 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 really bothered me. And yesterday I was talking about, Khonshu and the voice. And Belle, shout out to Belle Reeve, she pointed out that he reminds her of Venom. And I didn't even think of Venom, but the more I think about it, of course, it's like this silly, like, disembodied like voice kind of thing with Khonshu. Obviously with Venom it's a little different, and I can't stand Venom's voice. I can't stand Tom Hardy's Venom voice. I don't like it, and I really don't like this. And it seems like for Khonshu to have this immense power and this hold over Mark and things with Mark and like holding him hostage and trying to scare him into thinking that if this is your last job, but you might not like my next avatar, meaning like you can be free, but you might not like it. It was so silly with that delivery. I feel like if it was someone with a different voice, if they went a different way, that maybe I would have felt like, oh, well, Mark really is in trouble here and really is fearful for Layla, because I'm not scared of Khonshu really right now. Like he's not really done anything. Yeah, I know he like has this power and he's a god, but just that voice alone, I don't feel that it does enough to give you that hint of threat and danger that he should have. It's just not there for me at all. And to me, it just seems silly. Like he's like, well, you might not like my next avatar. Okay. I mean, I guess I'm not buying that stuff at all. So also, let's go ahead and talk about Arthur Harrow, Ethan Hawke's character. Like I said, I think that for the most part, his acting, I really enjoy what he's doing with the character. But some things with him I'm on the fence about. I get that he used to be the avatar of Khonshu. Get it? But I feel like we only have 6 episodes left here. So you've not given me enough to really understand what his true motivation here is. Why is he doing the things that he's doing? Is it just because he once was Khonshu's avatar and he wants revenge? It just seems silly. It's kind of like, I'm evil for the sake of evil. Like, you're not really giving me much. You're not giving me enough from him of a story and a motivation for why he's doing it, outside of the fact that he was, Khonshu's avatar at one point. to me, it's not enough information. And maybe you're going to do some more with him later in later episodes, but I don't know if we have enough time, because it seems like there's still quite a bit of story to tell. And he did give us this monologue about how he, formed this cult and with these people, and, how he needs the scarab to find Amit, because he wants to possibly be the avatar for Amit, because he passionately believes in her service and her message and what she represents and what she does, like judging people before they commit these bad acts. And Khonshu, again, is not a hero. He's a bad guy. He's holding Mark hostage in this position and making him fearful that if he doesn't do his bidding, that the next person that will be someone close to him and someone that he loves very much. And obviously that's part of the breakdown of his marriage, right? With that, but we'll see. But I really do think that I liked the moments when they were, eating soup and they were talking, Steven and Arthur. So I thought those things were really good. And I like that we're finally at the end of the episode here. I didn't like the conversation with Khonshu at the end. Those last few minutes, I really checked out of it. I had to go back and rewind it, guys, to be honest, because I was so bored, and that voice, it just, I think that for me, that might be a big issue, going forward. Another thing that I kind of, I thought it was cool that only Mark could see the jackals, but also I thought that the jackal that was fighting Mr. Knight, the CGI was poor. It looked very cartoony. So it didn't look so good, right? In my opinion. But I did like the fact that, going back to the museum, he's like, guys, you're going to have to brace yourself, guys. This is going to be big, when he's talking to the security guard. And then the security guard sees nothing but just him running. And we find out later that only he can see the jackals. And I thought that was cool. That it was only something that Steven could see. But I didn't like the way the jackal looked during the fighting scene. So overall, earlier I kind of said maybe it's a 7.5, and sometimes me with scores, they can fluctuate up or down 1 point. But right now, if I'm going to score it, because like the stuff that I liked, I really like that stuff. Like I really like the interactions with Mark and Steven. I think, like I said before, that those are the strongest moments in the episodes, when he's interacting with himself and having those conversations. Layla does bring this down a lot for me the more I think about it, because I just did a rewatch of it. Let's go with a 6.5. to be fair here, because I really don't want, I really don't know. Is it a 7 or is it a 6.5? I'm honestly leaning towards the 6.5. I think that's where we are. When I thought about it earlier, I thought, hey, maybe, it's higher up. But to me, really, honestly and truly, I think that this is a 6.5. Let me know what you think down below. Did you enjoy episode 2 of Moon Knight? Are you excited for episode 3? I know I am excited to see what happens in Egypt, right? And get to see more of Mark. I'm kind of excited to see Mark take that lead, and see more about what his personality is about and what he's going to do. So I'm excited to see that. Let me know what you think down below. Don't forget to like and comment and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm your girl Ashley, and I'm out of here. Bye. You all have a great one.
The Widow. How do I describe Ashley? She is a force of nature.